Ariana Blake grew up in Hollow Creek, a small American town tucked between open fields, dusty roads, and sunsets the color of wildfire. It was the kind of place where people's dreams were often smaller than the county lines that shaped their world, and where girls were raised on a single, repeating belief: one day you'll marry a good man who'll take care of you. Her community held tightly to that idea. Women didn't talk about building businesses, they didn't talk about investments. They talked about nails, hair appointments, relationship gossip, and dreams of meeting men who would rescue them from the quiet, predictable life of Hollow Creek. To the girls around her, the goal was simple: be beautiful enough, charming enough, or flirty enough to attract a man with money. At 14, Ariana began to notice how deep this mentality ran. Girls her age already measured their worth by the attention they received. A new hairstyle could cause a small hurricane of excitement across town. Boys from the next county were trophies. A girl who dated someone with a car instantly became a local celebrity. Their laughter was loud, their clothes always bright, and their plans for the future depended on the men they hoped to marry. But even at 14, Ariana understood something they didn't. No one was coming to save her. No prince, no rich guy, no lucky chance. Her life would become whatever she built with her own hands. Ariana didn't fit in with the other girls. While they spent evenings practicing makeup or scrolling through social media looking at models and influencers, Ariana stayed at the town library, an old brick building that smelled of dust, ink, and possibility. She devoured books on business, psychology, leadership, investment, history, anything she could get her hands on. People laughed at her seriousness. They called her Grandma Blake because she always carried heavy books. Some boys said she was too intimidating, too focused, or not fun enough. The girls said she didn't know how to live life. They bragged about the men who texted them, while Ariana bragged about the new ideas she discovered. But inside her, a fire burned, stronger than the opinions around her. She wanted to become a woman who had value the world could not ignore. Not just beautiful, but powerful. Not just admired, but respected. She wanted to become a queen in her own right. Someone whose success wasn't borrowed from a man, but built from her own intelligence, discipline, and purpose. That dream carried her through her teenage years. While the girls around her jumped from one boyfriend to the next, Ariana took weekend jobs, working as a cashier, babysitter, tutor, anything to earn money she could save. And unlike her peers who rushed to buy new clothes or expensive shoes, Ariana used her savings to buy online courses, investment apps, and business books. The more she learned, the more she saw the truth. The future belonged to people who built, not people who depended. By 18, Ariana had turned her bedroom into a mini office. Her walls were covered with sticky notes holding quotes and goals. She had vision boards full of cities she wanted to visit, companies she wanted to build, books she wanted to write, and lives she wanted to impact. Meanwhile, her peers filled their bedrooms with perfume bottles, new outfits, and Instagram photos they hoped would catch the attention of some wealthy guy. Ariana's mother, a kind but traditional woman, watched silently. She grew up believing a woman's fate was tied to her husband, but she also saw her daughter's fierce determination and chose not to stand in the way. "Just promise me," she said one night, "that you won't work so hard you forget to live." Ariana smiled gently. "Mom, this is how I live." After high school, Ariana moved to Dallas for college. It was her first time away from Hollow Creek, and the city felt big and electric. The skyline looked like the future she always imagined. While other students focused on parties, Ariana joined entrepreneurship clubs, attended workshops, studied late nights, and worked 2 jobs to pay for extra business seminars. She didn't have time for dating, and she didn't feel guilty about it. Every time she walked past a mirror, she whispered the same sentence to herself: "I am building something the world will respect." And she kept building. By 22, she launched her first small online consulting business, helping local businesses and creators improve their branding. It didn't make a lot of money at first, but it taught her discipline, communication, and client management. When the business finally took off, Ariana used the profits to invest in digital marketing, real estate studies, and stock portfolios. She worked while others partied. She studied while others slept. She saved while others spent. Friends teased her. Some thought she was wasting her youth. But Ariana was planting seeds the world would one day thank her for. Back in Hollow Creek, the girls she grew up with were living the lives they believed would bring them joy. Most were dating constantly, hoping each new guy would be the one who would provide for them. They posted glamorous photos, went to clubs, and took road trips with boyfriends who promised them big futures but offered nothing real. Some girls even dropped out of school believing marriage would rescue them. They didn't know that time was silently shaping their fate. When Ariana turned 25, her consulting business became a six-figure company. She upgraded from a small rented apartment to a modern downtown condo. She hired employees, expanded her social media presence, and began giving business speeches across the country. People admired her brilliance. Her name started appearing on business blogs and podcasts. Brands reached out to work with her. Women from different states sent her messages saying she inspired them. Ariana didn't say it out loud, but sometimes, late at night, she remembered the laughter of her old community. The ones who said she was too serious, too focused, too boring. Now those same people watched her success online with a mixture of jealousy, admiration, and disbelief. By 27, Ariana was invited to speak at major conferences. She traveled to New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, and overseas for events. With every new flight, she felt herself ascending. Not just financially, but in the purpose she had always dreamed of. That was when she met Nathan Reed, a successful tech entrepreneur from Seattle. He wasn't intimidated by her success. He admired it. He was strong, driven, intelligent, and kind. And for the first time, Ariana met a man who matched her energy. Their relationship was built on respect, ambition, and partnership, not dependency. A year later, they married in a beautiful ceremony in Aspen, surrounded by people who celebrated their accomplishments, rather than reducing them to gender roles. Together, they built an empire, merging his tech brilliance with her business genius. They opened companies, investment firms, charities, and mentorship programs for young girls. Ariana finally became the queen she dreamed of becoming. Her value, influence, and reputation spread across America. She was featured in magazines, interviewed on TV shows, and invited to speak at universities. Young women looked up to her. Men respected her. She became a symbol of what discipline and self-investment could create. Then, one summer, Ariana returned to Hollow Creek for a community event. She walked through the same old dusty streets, the same streets where she once carried heavy books while others mocked her. What she found broke her heart. Many of the girls she grew up with had lost the glow they once carried. Some were struggling single mothers. Some were married to men who offered nothing but stress and limitations. Some were working small jobs they hated. Their dreams of marrying rich had turned into regrets. They approached Ariana with forced smiles and tired eyes. "You're so lucky," one said. "Life treated you well," another added. "We didn't expect you to be the one to make it," someone whispered. Ariana listened quietly because she knew the truth they refused to admit. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was choice. While she planted seeds, they spent their time decorating empty soil. While she invested in knowledge, they invested in attention. While she prepared for the future, they prepared for men. Life didn't betray them. They betrayed themselves. Years later, as Ariana spoke on a stage in front of thousands of young women, she told her story with one lesson. "Ladies, hear me. A man can add to your life, but he should never be your life plan. Don't expect him to be your rescue strategy. Build yourself, your mind, your skills, your purpose. Value outlasts beauty. Purpose outlives attention. When you invest in yourself, you become the kind of woman who doesn't beg for opportunities. The world gives them to you." The crowd erupted in applause. Ariana Blake stood tall, rich, respected, loved, honored, and admired. Not because a man built her life, but because she built her own foundation. And in doing so, she rose higher than the small beliefs of the world she came from. A true queen, crowned by effort, not by marriage. A lesson to every woman who still believes that a man should be responsible for her destiny. A man can support you, but he should never be your plan. Your future is your responsibility, and the life you live is the result of the seeds you plant, not the ones you ignore.